Hi, welcome to Alaskan and Thailand. Today I thought I'd talk about expat fatigue. You got to remember a lot of these small towns, they get influx of thousands and thousands, actually a million tourists or more, millions in the millions. So you got to remember that some of these people might not be so happy to see you here, although most of them seem to understand that it's a tourist thing. I noticed here in Hue Hin, the people are rather friendly and very tolerant of us, even though we all screw up and make stupid mistakes, travel, on the roads and stuff. We don't drive properly, I'm sure. Of course, they don't either. But yeah, there is a bit of expat fatigue in some places. Honestly, I haven't seen it around here so much. The ones that are, like I say, the ones that are into the tourist mode more, they seem to tolerate it. It'd be hard to imagine 50,000 people from India showed up in your small hometown in Nebraska all of a sudden one day, and then another 20,000 Europeans showed up, and then 10,000 you know well, actually it has happened in a lot of your communities, so you know how it feels anyway. So yeah, you got to keep in mind that there might be some expat fatigue depending on where you live too. I noticed when I was in the Philippines, there was a bit more expat fatigue there than there is here in Thailand, in this area anyway. I imagine in places like Phuket and stuff where there's just, hundreds of thousands or 50,000 or whatever Russians moved in, or that can be a real stress on the community. I can't see how it couldn't be, really. So yeah, they're dealing with it, and I guess cut them a break and try not to be an a-hole whenever you can help it. Try to give them a break. Try, that's let them go in traffic ahead of you. Try not to be so much in their way every day, trying to get to work and all that. But yeah, that's some things to consider. I know, like in Dumaguete, when I moved to Dumaguete for a while, you could always kind of sense the feeling that the foreigners, they kind of mumbled under their breath about how they're raising prices, and for rentals and stuff, you can't afford to rent, and that's the way it is. Same with like Hawaii, nobody can afford to live there. California, nobody can afford to live there. The rich push out the poor, and that's the way of the world. But you could sense some animosity towards them, a little bit towards foreigners, because of that. They're still friendly, and I wouldn't say they're going to be bad to you because of it, but keep in mind they do think of like that. And it hurts when they have to, and then even the tips and stuff, you start tipping, and then all of a sudden the rides go up, the prices increase for small things, and that really hits home hard on a lot of these tighter budgets. A lot of these Asian people, they live on a shoestring budget, and they can barely make it. And then if we throw an expat in the mix, where all of a sudden a coconut that used to cost 5 pesos now costs 20, 30 pesos, that's a 300% increase or whatever. So yeah, there can be some animosity. And like I pointed out before, political winds can turn against you too and cause some fatigue. I A couple of years ago here in Thailand, they had a incident where some guy came out, owned some property on the beach, and came out, and there was somebody sitting on their porch step, their beach access steps, and it was a Thai, and he kicked him. It was some guy from a foreigner that owned the land, somehow got a house there, but he kicked the lady in the back, just or something. I'm not sure of the full details, but the whole Thailand kind of got up, and that made the news, the national news, and it got to be kind of a national incident here in Thailand anyway. And there was a bit of anger towards, they want to see that stuff get prosecuted. So there was a big uprising about that dude, and he had some hard times coming. I don't know whatever happened out of it, but yeah, some of you may remember that. So yeah, keep in mind, one bad incident can cause an incident, and then all of a sudden people are looking at you sideways, and that can't be a good feeling when you're in a different country. Same with the people like down in Mexico, that all of a sudden Trump deporting Mexicans back to their home country, and all of a sudden they're up in arms and starting to attack the expat Americans down there or whatever. So yeah, you got to be careful and pick your community right, wherever try to find a peaceful place to live where there ain't a lot of political influx, you know, and say that's another thing too. There's wars that can start up too. That can, you know, I don't know what kind of stress that puts on the people, but you got to know that after that they get serious. And by the way, I wanted to mention to you guys that come and don't bring your drones. They made drones illegal here. You can't fly a drone anymore because of that war. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, and it's a heavy. It's like life imprisonment and maybe death penalty or something. Don't bring your drone. Don't even bring it. I wouldn't try to fly in with one right now. Although it's calmed down quite a bit. No problems about it, but that's the law as of now. There's no drone flying at all. So if you, I wouldn't want to get caught in an airport trying to even bring one in. Then I don't know what they'd tell you. But anyway, yeah, just be mindful. Could be. I haven't noticed it here. The people here have been absolutely 100% friendly with me. I don't get any dirty looks or anything. Everybody's all smiles. They truly are smiles and friendly people here. Could be, I'm sure, like in Pattaya, where it's just overblown and crazy with expats. I'm sure there's some animosity there amongst the locals. There has to be, with all the foolery that goes on there, with all the drinking and weirdos and stuff. So yeah, I just watched that from afar. I haven't even been up there yet. So yeah, keep in mind there could be some fatigue. And like I'm saying, in the Philippines, where you get the real desperation and poverty too, when you come in, they assume you're rich, and there's kind of already, you already kind of stink to them because of that. You know, nobody likes rich people richer than them. You know, it seems like, especially when you're really, really poor. And if you're flaunting it, yeah, it's another thing. Try not to be too flaunt your jewelry and try to look like you're worth $1,000,000. They automatically assume you're worth $1,000,000 just by your being there. So you don't have to push that up into the in their faces, because they don't want to see that. The best thing you can do is look humble, dress nice, dress humble, be polite. Just, go along with things. That ain't the way you guys do things back home, but that's how they do it here. And you better be jumping on the bandwagon and doing it like they do it. Don't try to go against the grain around here. It wouldn't do you any good. Find out real quick you're not in Kansas anymore. Well, anyway, that's my ideas anyway. Well, I'll give you a look around before I shut her down. I'm up here north at the Hilton, right in front of the Hilton. Nice cloudy morning, cool. It's Sunday morning. There's a lot of drunk people down here on the beach. Some few. I've had some drunk women catcalling me when I was walking by up here. And yeah, they're still at it. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning. Well, people fishing out there. Beautiful morning. Mermaids out on the rocks, getting their selfies. The Hilton. I like that room right up on top there. sure to like, share, and subscribe. I upload every day. See you in the next one.